Okay, so we will do the walk around on the Craftsman M430 walk behind push mower. So I haven't really seen, like I said before, a ton of good reviews on these, especially on just like a regular lawn where, take care of the grass, but it's not full of clover or anything like that. So wanted to do my own personal review on this, and just to give everyone a second opinion and see what you think. So like I said before, Craftsman M430, I bought this from Lowe's 2.5 years ago, and I got it luckily before, well, right at the very beginning of COVID, so but before the inflation pricing. So this one I only got for $10.99, and I think now they're going for around $1,400. So and honestly, the only big difference that I found is that now they have electric start on the Craftsman model. Keep in mind, this is the exact same mower from what I can tell as the Cub Cadet, except they specifically use their own Cub Cadet engine instead of the Briggs & Stratton 223cc engine. So this mower specifically, it's two blades. They are slightly altered, that way they can actually overlap, so you don't have to worry about any type of grass that doesn't get cut between the two blades. So they will be slightly staggered here. On the front caster wheels, for anyone who is concerned that you can't mow straight, I have really no issue with these whatsoever on being able to mow straight. The other thing you can do as well is you can actually lift this lever here and put it into a straight position, and now it's completely locked. Well, once you put it in the right spot, there you go. So now it's just going to work just like a standard push mower without caster front wheels. So you have the flexibility to do both. This also has a really nice cover that you can take off. It's only got 4, I think 8mm screws. It may be standard, I can't remember 100%. But you get very good access to all the pulleys and belts and everything like that to be able to do your standard maintenance on this. Going along with maintenance, again, air filters right here. It's very easy to replace. You just unscrew the cap, and there it is. So extremely easy. I just replaced this. This is, I think, my second mow with the new air cleaner. I do them annually. If they're really not that bad, I may get some shop air and just blow it out. Nothing too crazy, but I mean, maintenance stuff is really cheap on these. So I usually do a plug and an air cleaner annually. I also decided to add my own fuel filter in this. So I just went to Tractor Supply and picked up my own fuel filter, which comes with new lines and clips and everything. Can't go wrong with a little bit of added security when it comes down to just overall filtration. So I went ahead and did that myself. Oil is very easy to get to. Oil fills right here. It does, oh, my arm was in the way. Oil fills right here. It does come with oil in the box, so I use that for break-in. After I hit the hours, I can't remember if it was 25 or 50 hours. I believe it was 25 hours. You do your first oil change. I went ahead and started using AMSOIL full synthetic small engine oil. I'm actually an AMSOIL dealer, so I like to use all their different products within my own equipment, just so I actually have real-world experience whenever I sell to my customers. If you are ever interested in that, I do have a link in my description of this video. You can save up to 25% by becoming a preferred customer, or you can just get my contact information. I can sell to you directly, a little bit cheaper than suggested retail. So still talking about oil, maintenance on this thing is probably one of my favorite things out of any small equipment that I've ever used. So this hose right here actually just goes right through this hole. So you just unclip it and it comes right out the back, and you just tilt the mower back and you drain all the oil out. I mean, it's literally that simple. You just put a cup or something behind it to catch all the oil, and you just drain it straight out. It's phenomenal, extremely easy to do your own maintenance. Even the belts, or I'm sorry, even the blades, you just lift it up on the front end. I just use a jack or some jack stands that I would typically use for a car, get an impact, take it right off. Not a problem whatsoever. This one is also a single lever for the both rear wheels. I have it on the second to highest setting. I'm in Indiana, so I am cold weather grass, so your fescues, Kentucky bluegrass. I have a slight mixture in my yard. So here's my yard here after I just mowed. I also have built-in irrigation that came with the house when I bought it, so I'm very lucky compared to some of the neighbors. Obviously, I need to blow the grass out of the drive, but I don't like to cut super short, especially with a rotary. If you want to go to, you know, your real mowers and things like that, then have at it. That's just not something that I'm willing to take on right now. To adjust the front wheels, you simply have pins with wing nuts. You just spin it right off, but it has a little label to select the height exactly to match the rear. Moving on to this side, you do have, I'm sorry, I could talk about a deck wash, but I don't know, you've been around long enough, those things don't work. They just get the grass wet underneath. I mean, just get a hose, lift up the front of your mower and clean it like a real adult. So on the side here, I do side discharge. I just like the quality of cut that I get with a high lift blade, and because of the height that I cut at, I don't tend to have a ton of grass that shoots out the side. I know if you cut shorter, you tend to be cutting more grass off each time you mow. So when you do that, obviously it may turn into a hay field and you have to mow more often. So I prefer the side discharge. My mower actually came with 2 sets of blades, so I've had some I've read some controversial reviews around the cut quality of this mower, and honestly, I contribute that 100% to the blades that you run. So, like I said before, this mower came with 2 sets of blades. It was already equipped with the high lift blades, but it came with a second set here for mulching. So I have ran these before, specifically in the fall time. And as you can see the way the notches are, this is a mulching blade. But it came with this, and you know, swapping them back and forth, I see a dramatic difference, or a significant difference between cut quality between the 2 blades. And like I said before, I prefer high lift blades all day, any day, just because it lifts the grass, gets any debris out of the grass. So if you side discharge or bag, you can't go wrong. And if you do side discharge and you want the same type of action as mulching, you could always mow twice, do cross patterns to help chop up the grass as much as physically possible, and it's basically the same thing. But then you get the benefits of better cut quality. This does usually have a bolt that goes right in here. I actually took it out just because I take this on and off quite frequently, depending on whether I am doing side discharge or bagging, and I just don't want to mess with having to do that. But basically this just slides in right there, and you can put a bolt on to hold it in place, and that way if you hit any objects or anything like that, it's not going to come off. For bagging, this giant piece here does not come off. This is where the bag sits. You just open this up, put it back like this, and the bag slides right on. And then there is a giant tube that goes this way and goes in here and bolts onto the side. It's kind of a pain in the butt to put on. Well, I take that back. It's not a pain in the butt, it's just time consuming. If you bag a lot, you do it once and then you're done. But like I said, for me, it's just not something that I want to do. My town also does not provide, in my area, compost bins. So if they did, I would probably bag, just because I do like getting as much of the debris off my yard as physically possible. So this is rear-wheel drive. The self-propel system in this is phenomenal. It's this lever here, you just push it forward and the mower takes off. It's absolutely fantastic. The speed is very good. The control is very good. It's got like a split differential almost, to where it can tell which direction you're trying to go. And it will automatically adjust left or right wheel speeds based on your input. I don't know how they do it, but it's fantastic. You got an engine shut off here. You do need to hold that until it is all the way off. This engine runs so good that if you actually release your finger from this too early, it will kick right back on and they keep running. So in regards to tires, I would put this down as a potential con. I mean, this is a heavy mower, right? It's not a commercial mower. That needs to be extremely clear for everyone. I know the price range, it's definitely more expensive than your standard 21, 22 inch push mower, but this is not a commercial lawnmower. It's got a small fuel tank. It's still got a stamped steel deck. It's not a thick welded plate deck with a larger endurance tank or anything like that. Can you use it for commercial use? Absolutely, but you just need to have that in mind, that you may only have an hour and a half to 2 hours of run time before you run out of fuel. And you know, having to stop obviously cuts into your profits. So just keep that in mind whenever you buy something like this. But for the price, you could honestly get 2 of these for the price of like a Skag or something like that. That's an equivalent walk behind mower. That's just a little bit higher quality for build quality. But for like engine use, or I'm sorry, engine performance and things like that, I don't know if you can really justify the price to something that much more expensive. That's something that you will have to determine, you know, when you're buying. This is a heavy mower, so these wheels, they do have to distribute all of the weight of the mower. And I found that if you do very constant patterns in your lawn, without switching it up between mowings, you could actually dig in a little bit. Sorry about the weeds, but like for instance, this one pass right here, I always run an outside edge to my neighbor's lawn, and so the wheels leave an imprint in the ground just because of the weight of the mower. So I would highly suggest that you constantly switch up your directions every time you mow. But that's kind of something you should do anyway, regardless of your mower. I like deep prominent stripes, so I actually bought the stripe kit for this mower. It was only like $50 when I bought it. I haven't looked recently to see what that costs, but the mower, it stripes okay when you first get it. It does have a flap on the back, but there's zero pressure that puts down on the grass. That's really more for just preventing debris from hitting you whenever you mow. So I would highly suggest the stripe kit if you want good looking stripes. My yard's small enough that I can mow it twice and still be done in about 35 minutes. I don't do that for cut quality. I specifically do it just to give it another run of the roller over the grass to give me a little bit more prominent stripes. I got this off of the MTD website. Again, this is virtually the same chassis as a Cub Cadet mower, so the same stripe kit will work between the two. So this one does not have electric start. I don't care about that. It really doesn't bother me whatsoever. I've never had this thing take more than 2 pulls to start, whether it's dead of winter and I just needed to move it, or when it's warm or summertime. It's never taken more than 2 pulls. It fires right up. Honestly, Briggs and Stratton, they make a great engine. It may not be as smooth as some others, but I mean, for maintenance costs and just overall longevity, these things are very good little engines. This does have a blade disengagement, so you just push this lever forward and pull back, and then the blades will turn on and off just by doing that. If there is a con in regards to this, it's just there's quite a bit of tension on this, and I don't know if that's been changed in the newer models. But the first few times I used this, I mean, I'm 34 years old, you know, I'm in decent shape, but it still gave me a little bit of fatigue on my hands. So you know, wearing gloves, things like that may help with some of the fatigue, but after some use, you definitely get used to it, and it's not that bad. So all in all, I highly recommend this mower. It's, you know, for the price, it literally cut my mowing time down by at least 30 to 40%, just due to the additional width, but also being caster front wheels. You don't have to lift the front end. You don't have scalping marks from slamming the front wheels down or anything like that. You just keep it on the ground. It's always level, and it does a fantastic job. So all in all, this is something that I would highly recommend for anyone.